Are we rolling? There we go. It didn't do the 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, I know I got to open chat right here. Let me do it. Open chat. Bam. And then the first person speaks. It should be good. How is everybody doing this morning? Let's close this. I will start off everything with me being a conspiracy theorist, because that all of that has come into my head of late. Good morning, JJ. Hey, good morning, JJ. Good morning, JD. It's like everything this year is like it in retrospect. It's gonna look like if next year we field a strong roster. If next year we put a strong roster together and we come out with a team that actually can do something, this year was a complete setup year, because it all starts with the weight of paying CD and Dak, and that was just strange to me. Like, why would you wait till the last second and totally freeze yourself out of being able to get any free agents or anything in the entire offseason? You just by not doing anything with CD and Dak, you just stopped all player movement in Dallas for the entire offseason. That's what happened. That's what happened. I need that mod. Okay, got you, JJ. I'm gonna take a picture of that, JJ, so I don't forget. I look at my pictures all the time. Bam. All right. But yeah, it's like that was in the whole summer. I'm like, what are we doing? And then the draft, to have such a conservative draft and not get a running back, which we needed terribly, not to get any other weapons, which we needed terribly, to work on the offensive line, which is an indication of a rebuilding team, to build the trenches first. And I'm like, okay, you're gonna pay a quarterback all this money and then put him behind a rookie offensive line. He's gonna get hurt, and he got hurt. And again, I don't want to put it on the offensive line, but still, the stress of all the stuff that was put on that quarterback, it was obvious that your quarterback wasn't going to play the whole season. I mean, who thought that when you saw Dak taking all those licks, all those hits, and nobody being open, and then the last straw is when the entire world was begging him to run. Dak, don't run. Dak need to run. Dak need to run. And when that part hit, his hamstring saying run. I don't know if you saw that the cartoon when they were in the jungles or whatever, and I forgot which cartoon it was, and they said, Dak, run, and he was like, what is run? And he fell down and got killed. But I hope you saw that thing. But his legs basically really did that. They were like, whoa, Dak, what are you doing? We ain't done this since college, dude. We ain't moved like this since college. So his legs was like, no, man, you need to let me know before you go around running like this in the NFL. I'm out. That's what the legs said. So it just seemed like everything went according to plan. Now, at this part of the season, we're just going to be in complete evaluation mode. We're going to have Cooper Rush out there. I believe in Cooper Rush. I mean, me and Cooper Rush go way back. I had hate for Cooper Rush when do you remember when Cooper Rush killed Rico Gathers? I was standing there with the camera, and Cooper Rush, and he still don't have much power in his arm, but he threw just like a fluttery pass out there for Rico, and got Rico just murdered in practice or whatever. And I was like, come on, man, why do we have that guy on the team when he can't even throw a good ball? And, so I couldn't stand him. And then when he went in, when Dak got hurt last time, he really, really, really impressed me. He does everything he can with what he has. He doesn't have the skills of a real NFL quarterback. I don't think he don't have the arm and all that kind of stuff, but he has the head of one. He's very smart. He'll make the right choice, all that kind of stuff. So Cooper, good luck, man, against the Eagles, man. I really want to beat them at least once, and it would be even better to beat them with our depleted roster. That would be awesome. Jerry is trolling us. Shango, how do I feel about Clemson this year? I'm in Oregon. I'm so glad I chose Oregon at the beginning of the season. I'm enjoying Oregon. Hey, Sean, we're doing good. Everybody's good. Thank you for asking. Oh, and yeah, I'm going to talk about the Mingo thing in a minute, MVB Dad. Originally, I was mad at... I'll talk about it right now. What I'm talking about. MVB Dad said, originally, I was mad at Mingo. But thinking about it, it was a second-round player for a fourth, and we picked up a seventh. So technically not a bad move. I just wanted a bigger splash. Exactly, but you have to think about our situation. Now, I looked this morning. I always go looking for Cowboys news and what to talk about in the morning. And when I looked at Dallas Cowboys news, it was at least 4 or 5 pages. 4 or 5 pages of articles trashing the Cowboys for the Mingo trade. And every one of them was like, not every one of them, but I didn't read every one of them. But most of the ones I read were highly inaccurate. Like, it's surface. They looked at that trade on the surface and said, Mingo for a fourth, Devontae Adams for a fifth. That don't make any sense. Or whoever was for a fifth. Hop went for a fifth. That's not, it's not that way. Hop would have been a rental. And to be honest, what use is there to get somebody like Hop or Devontae Adams or Mike Williams or Deontay Johnson, any of those guys, if it's just a rental this year on a year that things don't look very good at all. We don't have if we had a good chance to win the division or whatever, we still have a chance. I'm holding on. I'm not giving up until I'll talk about that in a minute. But if were in a position maybe like the Falcons, where we're right in the thick of it, we can add somebody. We can do this and do this just to boost us up a little bit more money, more to make us a little bit better. But those players would pretty much be rentals for that season. Maybe we keep them for the next season, but it's just like that. But with Mingo, he's going to be just another young guy on the roster. We're going to load the roster up with young guys next year, and he's just going to be another one of those young guys. Now his window is a little bit shorter because he's only got 2. What do they call them? Controlled years with this salary, so we don't have to pay him or whatnot. So he's got 2 years to actually show what he's worth. So he's got to get here. He's got to get ready, and he's got to show us what he can do right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? Not like the rookies that come in the draft. They'll be able to do it a year, for studying and learn how to do it. And then after that year, they can start showing what they can do. But I do like the player of Mingo. I do. I'll get to that Commanders too in a minute, Darth Man. I like the player in Mingo. He was supposed to be the guy with Bryce Young, but he had 0 opportunity in Carolina. 0. I mean, that's if Mingo was, let's say if Mingo was on the Bengals, or if Mingo was on the Chargers, a team with a quarterback that had the ability, to get the ball to him, and he just failed, that would be one thing. But Mingo never had an opportunity because he had different coaches. He had pretty much different quarterbacks. And the main quarterback he had struggled and failed so far in the NFL. So it's just like the situation he was in. If Mingo was CeeDee Lamb, just think for a minute. If Mingo was CeeDee Lamb in Carolina these past few years, how many yards do you think CeeDee Lamb would have? You know what I'm saying? without a quarterback that can get the ball to him, without an offensive scheme that works for him, without all the things necessary for CeeDee Lamb to be successful. He would not have been successful in Carolina last year. So it's okay to bring him exactly. He is 220 pounds. He runs a 4.4. I mean, if we can get some kind of production out of Kevontae Turpin, this guy actually did it against bigger in the SEC against bigger dudes than Turpin. What's up? And then, the only thing I can see, Jim Hunter says bad mood. The fourth is going to be a high pick. This draft is going to be full of wide receivers. And I think a good wide receiver would be available in the fourth. Would that wide receiver be as good as Mingo? Mingo was a second. This draft is deep at wide receiver, so that would probably equal a third. It seems like a big wash, and I just the type of receiver he is, I kind of just like it. I like a guy, I like a guy that can get separation with his physical nature and not be bullied. Just imagine, just imagine a 220 fast receiver running a slant against instead of Brandon Cooks last year against Green Bay. A bigger receiver could have kept the DB off of him. Brandon Cooks couldn't keep the DB off of him. And what the DB did, he bullied Brandon Cooks and took the ball away as an interception. A bigger, stronger wide receiver on that same play would be either an incompletion or a catch. There's no way that the DB is going to work around him and push him out the way and catch the ball. That's what I'm saying. So he's big and strong already. So I'm good with that. And a fourth is just a fourth. A fourth is just a fourth. Exactly, Jay Recruiter, the same way. The Dak needs a big wide receiver like Mingo. Deontay is a then why did Deontay Johnson have multiple 100-yard games this year and Mingo had only 122? Deontay's an older receiver. Deontay's he knows what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So he's an older guy. I don't think Thielen had that much, but it's just like they're not world beaters. How many yards does he have total so far? You know what I'm saying? Do you see Deontay Johnson getting more than 700 yards? 1 or 2 games you'll get 100 yards, but do you see him getting more than 700, 800 yards in that offense? I really like Mingo coming out the draft too. Well, they talked Mingo up a lot at first. They say Mingo never should have been picked second. I think he was fine at second, but they did talk him and Bryce up a lot, being the duo. Oh, Mingo, hold on. Mingo means nothing. Okay, he's just a roster spot. We still need a wide receiver too. If you're expecting Mingo to be the savior for the team, then that's the eating Jerry Jones' stuff that I'm talking about. That's not going to happen. What I said at the beginning, he's going to be one of the young guys that are going to be trying to make this football team. No, we still need a nod. Just he would be taking the place of a rookie wide receiver. And it's just that when you look at the college game, do you see somebody as big and as fast as Mingo that could be gotten later in the draft? And I don't think they did. Is Xavier Legette? But but he's not going to. Legette is not killing. That's not what I'm point. He's not being used in Carolina for some reason. The offense, Leggett is the younger player, so Leggett is gonna be moved in front of him because Leggett is the more recent draftee than him. You know how it works. If you were drafted the year before, the new draftees are gonna come in front of you. So he wasn't being used. So Leggett got the opportunities. They got somebody's gonna catch a ball. I mean, Carolina's not gonna pass for 0 yards every game, so somebody's gonna catch the ball. But my point is, you're not in a offense that actually gets things done. You're not in a winning offense. You're not in a highly productive offense. So if you're not in a highly productive offense, you're not going to look very good. I hope he can develop too, but all I'm saying with him is he's just another young guy that's going to be with the other young guys. It's a 4th round draft pick. It's nothing serious. It's nothing worth 4 to 5 pages of ripping the Cowboys organization for a move. That's my point. It's a 4th round draft pick. Lots of times our 4th rounders don't even make the team. What's up, Vic? The guy from Arizona, that wide receiver dog, or Isaiah Bond. There's a lot of stuff. Oh, Jerry's. I don't know what Jerry talked about D Hop being expensive, because you do have the actual money to have paid D Hop, but that's why I said that this part of it, Pokemon. This is my conspiracy theory part. The reason why we didn't get any one of those guys, I don't know. We had a quarterback at that time. You know what I'm saying? We might still have a quarterback if we got one of those guys. To be honest. You know what I'm saying? He would have been running for his life. He'd have had somebody to throw the ball to. So to compare the Mingo trade to what the other ones with Cooper and all that kind of stuff that happened before Dak got hurt, that stuff blows my mind because I don't know what we were doing in the first place. If we get a legit number 2 and a running back, Lucas Devlin said, if we get legit number 2 running back and a stud nose tackle in the draft, I'll be happier about the trade. Yes, this is not people. I see where you're going here. People are thinking that this is our choice at wide receiver, and it's not. And I don't think we would have got our wide receiver 2 in the 4th round either. You understand what I'm saying? So just push him out of our head, and he's just a plus. But our wide receiver 2 has to come from round 1, 2, or if you pick if possibly in this draft, since it's so deep, you possibly could get him in round 3. But we have to have another stud on the other side of CeeDee Lamb. We really do. And no, Mingo is not that guy. That's what Lucas Dedman, that's what I talked about yesterday. Going out and getting vets for the line. Our line is going to be depleted. We have 2 young guys. That's enough. We're working on Guyton. Hopefully we can flip Guyton over to the right, or if he picks up the left, it's fine. We just keep those 2 young guys the young guys. And we have Tyler, and just replace those 2 other positions. Did you see Terrence Steele on that reverse with CeeDee Lamb on 4th and 1? Terrence Steele hit nobody. Most important play of the game, bro, at that point. 4th and 1. You remember 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. 3rd and 1, we got stopped. 4th and 1, they did the reverse of CeeDee Lamb. Zach hit his guy. And then he hit Zach's guy too. Terrence Steele hit Zach's guy too, leaving the other guy wide open. And all he had to do, and the play was dead at that moment. When he made the wrong decision and hit the wrong guy, the play was dead in that moment. And this guy came right into the backfield and just tackled CeeDee Lamb like it was nothing. And I'm like, okay, we all blame the play call, but that was poor execution. Absolutely poor execution. So we need to get two guys that know what they're doing to replace Zach Martin. Zach is playing some of the worst football of his career, and Terrence Steele, because that side of the line is horrible. You know me, Pat. I want youth. I do not want Bill Belichick as a coach. That's who I don't want. And I want him under the age of 45. Okay? 45 and under, successful in the NFL, and not Belichick. That's what I want. No retreads, no old guys. Let's get a stud number 2 before CD is an old man. Exactly, Jimmy Moran. Let's get a stud number 2 so we can have at least close to what the Eagles have and what the 49ers have. You know what I'm saying? The 49ers got really like 3 good receivers, but Ayuk is gone right now, though. I don't think the Mingo deal doesn't do anything. I don't think this Mingo deal was to make us hopeful, because I don't think the Mingo deal, I don't know how that's going to make us hopeful. It's just like you have to look at Mingo as basically a 4th rounder coming to our squad. And who is really excited about a 4th rounder? Tell me right now the last 4th rounder that was like, you were like, this guy's going to be a stud for us. So that's what Mingo is. Mingo should not have excited us. It just did because it was the Cowboys making a move and Jerry said something about it or whatever. But it's just it should have been one of those quiet moves that basically we took a player that replaced the draft pick, that we probably would have got a receiver on that 4th round pick. Now we'll just we'll get Mingo. No Kingsbury. No. I'm not believing that stuff in Washington just yet, man. Quinn and Kingsbury, they've not been that successful in the NFL so far. So it's hard for me to think that they're going to do it like out the box, like bam, we're great. So we're gonna let the Commanders just play a little bit. Dak was but the same thing. Nobody expected Dak to be Dak with the 4th round pick. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really expected him to be a starter. It was going to be a good backup for Romo in his twilight years. But you know, that worked out. But I can't even think of any other 4th rounders. Man, you know, I know y'all love Travis Hunter, but I love some Tez. I think this team can use some Tez, man. Tez is like Turpin, but good. Tez is like Turpin. He's like small like Turpin, but Tez is just straight up nasty. He can return the kicks. He can catch that deep ball. He can run out the backfield. He can run those reverses. Shoot, we already got the plays installed for Tez. We just move Turpin on out of here. Dingo, Mingo's Mingo. Cowboys are cooking no matter who they get. Jerry keeps saying he got a plan and is going to make moves, and the fan think this was the big move Jerry was talking about. And it's not. It can't be. You know what I'm saying? It should be one of those silent moves that we just do just to tweak a roster. It's a roster tweaking move. It's no different than this move is no different than the Nahshon Wright for Andrew Booth trade. You know what I'm saying? We could have got a 4th for Nahshon Wright maybe. You know what I'm saying? Or a pick for Nahshon Wright, but we got a player for him. Player didn't work out. Player's gone. No sweat off our back. This was a move on that level. Yeah, I was watching that too, B Macro. I was watching it in real time. Right after the show. It happened right after because I think I got out of the show and said Jerry's about to do his show, whatnot. But when I was sitting there, I heard Shefty saying it. If Cooper Rush outperforms Dak these next 4 days, expect the Civil War to get even worse. It'll just be words. Lucas Devlin, we've been through the Cooper Rush Dak thing before. I'm not gonna address it. I'm a big believer in Cooper Rush, and I know what both the guys can do, and we're not going to go down that road again. You can go with, I think Skip Bayless is going to go down. Skip Bayless will be happy to go down that road with you, and I think probably what's the other dude? There's people that will go down that road with you, but I'm not. I mean, we know who that is. Cooper Rush is not a starting NFL quarterback. He is an elite backup. And if you didn't know that from the last time Cooper Rush was out there, then I don't know. You're watching the game with bias. So that's exactly my point. If anybody's having that argument, it comes from some kind of bias. Why hasn't Tolbert, Mr. Mawsome in camp, Shine coaching himself? It's kind of like the B Macro. It's kind of like the same thing I said about Mingo. He's also in a situation where it's not good. But he does have a quarterback. Tolbert does, but he doesn't have a system. The routes are bad. The quarterback doesn't have time. So he's in a similar system as situation as Carolina, just not quite as bad. I would play Lance. I would play Lance because Cooper Rush gives us. This is a question. Why trade for Lance and not play him here? Because playing Lance right here would be the give up, and you don't want to quit. This team has not quit this season. Everybody's mad at this team, all this kind of stuff, but this team has not quit. If we just throw Trey Lance out there and let him throw 5 interceptions like he did in the preseason or whatever, it will be an indication to the rest of the team that we've just quit on the season. And you don't quit on the season when you're still mathematically in it. Now, if we lose to the Eagles this week or whatnot, it goes down a little bit more. And Cooper Rush loses. You hear what I'm saying? And then Cooper Rush loses again. It's done. Cooper Rush, thank you for your service. We're gonna see what we have with Trey Lance because the season is over at that point. But here, Cooper Rush, Trevor Lawrence almost beat the Eagles last week, and Trevor is playing horrible. And actually, Trevor lost the game. So I mean, Cooper can win this football game. So with me, I would rather take a win at any time in the NFL and have the players experience winning rather than just giving up because the season's over. You know, when we're really lucky not to have that loser energy in our, and not loser energy. We got loser energy, that quitting energy in our organization. In all the games, except the 2 that we got blown out, we fought back. In all those, 5 losses, we fought back on every last one of them. And one of them, we came back and we won with Pittsburgh. So there's a lot of fight in this football team that I don't want to lose by just saying, let's just throw Trey Lance out there. The season's over. Let's just quit. That might put the whole thing backwards a little bit, if you know what I'm saying. This discourse surrounding Cooper and Dak, Cooper versus Dak, is annoying. Exactly. I'm not going to be exactly. People are going to be looking for that argument. People already started that argument last week, saying, "Oh, didn't the offense look so much better under Cooper at the end of the game?" But then when Dak has success at the end of the game, that's just trash yards. It's stuff like that will start to percolate. You know, those type things. And you just don't entertain it. Yeah, that's another thing about why the DN, like Mr. Pokemaster, he says, Shango, look at 2025 free agent pool and we can rebuild the O-line. There's a lot of great O-line there. There's a lot of great players available in this free agent class. So with us having a whole bunch of money available in a big free agent class and a lot of draft picks, it can be a quick rebuild. Yeah, the season. No, you can't. You can't give up on your football team just because the media is saying, the season's over. The season's over. It's got to be mathematically impossible for you to make the playoffs, and then you shut things down. But you got to play with your backup. If everybody's hurt, your backups. I don't care what you got. I don't care what your situation is. As long as you're still mathematically available, then you should go all out to win a football game, because you might do it. Any given Sunday, it might happen. Who knows? It does say you're giving up because you're just in test mode. Vin said Trey was a first round pick. That doesn't mean much. Vin knows it all. I mean, if you watch Trey this preseason, you would know that once you put Trey out there, it's going to be a toss up. He might give you some good plays, and he might give you an interception, because that's his entire play for the preseason. So that's why it would be given up, because when you throw a player out there that you know is very erratic, the last time you saw him out there, and you just want to see what he can do, that's quitting if I've ever seen it before in my life. And you have another guy who's possibly one of the best backups in the league just standing here, and you just throw this guy in there in front of that guy? No. Let it be over. Then Trey go out there and we'll see. Then we can be in complete evaluation mode. Clear evaluation mode. No muddiness. Oh my goodness. 105 this morning did a poll on situations doing forward. 91% polled and said to cut Zeke. Only 91? I mean, when I saw, look, I was ready to get rid of Zeke with the just the playing this year, just him not being that much of a part of this football team this year at all. But when I find out he's yelling at coaches, not going to meetings, and doing other that stuff, and then that makes him not getting those carries even worse, because you're not involving yourself with the organization, and then you're also crying about carries, and you're not giving everything you got. Man, why are you entertaining that? Why are you entertaining that? I don't know. It's time to. It's already time to go. I came on a little early this morning. Y'all had me talking like crazy. Tomorrow my PS5 Pro gets in. I cannot wait. That's what I'm saying, Pat. 1984, especially Dak Prescott's injury. Dak Prescott, when it first came out, it said it could be 2 to 8 weeks, a hamstring. I'm like, 2 to 8 weeks? What kind of injury is 2 to 8 weeks? What kind of injury is 2 to 8 weeks? So it's like Micah is just like, we held Micah out because, I mean, to be honest, if we had a pass rush, we would have been even more in those games. I would say it would have helped us tremendously if we had a pass rush in our last few losses. So, I don't know. I'm very conspiracy theorist on all of this stuff that's going on in this season of the Dallas Cowboys. The more I think about it, the more nothing makes sense. I mean, like, why would you want Dak to run now at this point? Exactly. Why would you do anything worse? Like, okay. First of all, Dak is hurt. All right, he is hurt. It's just so he's probably going to miss the next couple games. You saw the pass when he threw it, the scream in his face when he threw the pass, and all this kind of stuff. And his hand looked like a grapefruit. So he is hurt. So, but how how long was that going to last? You know what I'm saying? I would think that he's going to be out this week and possibly next week, the 2. But I don't know where the 8 weeks came from, other than we're thinking about shutting him down because, you know what I'm saying? Because of other reasons. Oh, I just saw the thoughts on the bracket. Georgia, it just the college football bracket is just weird. It's just weird because the people that get the bye sometimes aren't the best teams in that bracket. But my new Oregon Ducks. My new Ducks. All right, guys, I got to go get my kids to school. You guys have a great day. And I will see you tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll talk more about the Eagles and the Cowboys game, and we'll see. Oh, hold on, JJ. What you're doing if they draft a quarterback in the first or second round? What would I do if the Cowboys draft a quarterback in the first or second round? That would be weird structure wise. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem getting a quarterback, but it would be very weird to have made your quarterback the highest paid player in the NFL and then draft. That's just like a whole bunch of capital going to one position. You understand what I'm saying? And that seems weird. It would seem like you would use that draft capital elsewhere. So it would be quite confusing if they did that. All right, guys. Top five. Open his door to Travis Hunter. I'm telling guys, I love Travis Hunter too because he's a 2-player. But Tez, I'm telling you, Tez, go watch Tez. That's your homework this time. Go watch